Okay, so in my last video I started construction on my SIG Banshee kit. I placed the motor mounts, I put the motor mounts into place, and they should be dry by now. I have not touched it since the last video ended, so I will take these off. I just had these on to make sure it stayed flush, and it's sticking, isn't it? Black paper again, so I don't want that to be buried with it. So there, I'll put that back into place, and this is the epoxy I must do it with. There's a little bit left over there, and that's not tacky at all, so I believe I am good. Some excess epoxy there too, which appears to be just fine and dandy. So I'm going to take off my C-clamps now. Got a little glue on there, but nothing, a little sanding will fix. See what I'm saying right there? So I'm going to get myself out a piece of sandpaper for these purposes. I'm going to get some 80 grit. I would get that. I have that. No, I forgot this is 60 grit that I have. But this will do the job even faster. Put it into a nice square, because I will use it after this, because it's just a little bit of epoxy. It's not going to ruin the whole piece of paper. Things I can find them. The last thing I need is glue to dry before a piece is set into place, because I couldn't find something. So I'm just going to get my piece of sandpaper and white tape this. I would say you could use 80 grit if you wanted to for this. It's not going to make a whole lot of difference. I don't want to fold it though, because I don't have a sanding block handy. I would also like to remind you this is very important to get anything excess sanded flush, because you cannot hide poor craftsmanship. It just can't happen. You want to walk into a place and be like a tall dog in a butcher shop. With your nice, well-built plane. As you guys can see, you can still see it a little bit, but that's not a big deal because it is flush and it will be painted. So I would rather have it flush and be able to see something than have it bumpy and have a dip there, because I had to get all the because I wanted to get all the epoxy off. So on this, I plan on putting a OS Max FP40 if that you're newer in the hobby, I would suggest putting a smaller engine on it. Let me see, I think this recommends a 29 to a 40. I would even say you could put a 25 on this. If that you're real new at it, and just compensate with a prop. They also want to close these. If that you put an engine that is too small for a normal, for the prop that you would put, if you put a smaller engine on it, you should put a shorter prop. And if you can't get it to a good speed with that smaller engine, you can always get a prop with a higher pitch. I'm probably going to run this with a 40 and maybe I'm going to start out with an 11.4 and see where I get from there. I might end up going down to a 10.4 or maybe to an 11.5 because, as many of you probably know, the first number is the length of the prop and the second number is the pitch. So the shorter the first number is, the faster it goes. The bigger the second number is, the faster it goes. So like I would obviously not put a size 1 on that, a 1.4 prop on it. That would be an extremely fast prop, and it probably wouldn't even have the pull to pull this. It really is a perfect science, picking out the correct size prop. And the reason I got down my FP40, and this is the muffler by the way, is to make sure that this is going to fit well. Brand new, this has never even had fuel run through it. Doesn't have a glow plug in it right now, but after I get a glow plug in, this thing will have awesome compression. See, it doesn't sit down all the way, but what I want to try doing is, first of all, making sure that I have held the right way. So I'm thinking I will have the plane like this, I will be in the circle, the engine should sit like this. That is the opposite of how I was holding it before. Okay. But it might fit right after I take a piece of plywood and slip the plywood on there, because as you saw, it was sitting just a tad up. I could cut down the motor mounts if I have to. But I prefer that I don't have to. Hope the motor mount's not upside down. It appears that the motor mounts, not the motor mounts, the plywood, is even smaller than the motor mounts. So look, it's not even close to fitting in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this on here, get my pencil, and the most important place you want it lined up is the wing, because you can trim anywhere else after that you finish constructing it, but you can't trim the wing. So that little amount, that is going to stop the engine from fitting. Now I have to get my clipping saw. One of these rods down here. I don't have to use this often in a hurry, so I usually end up not needing to know where it is. So sometimes is yes a problem. It appears, in this case, I might have to trim off the wing before I put this on. But need be, I could fix it with the Dremel after completion, before I put the wing into the fuse. And I would definitely suggest doing this with either a scroll saw or a Copeman saw, depending on what you have for tools. It would be ideal to do it with a scroll saw, however, I do not have one. I would fall into buying one, and then they doubled the price of the one I was planning on buying, so. Pain doing the Copeman saw, but that's all I got. As you can see, the line is getting pretty straight, but I still have to be very concentrated. And remember, if you feel it starting to drift, and it's drifting so you don't cut off enough, that's better than if it's drifting so you cut off too much, because you cannot put a piece of wood back together, but you can cut more off. Of course, though, it is ideal if you don't have to, and it works the first time. See, I got it fairly straight. Not as straight as I would have liked to, but it works. I would definitely recommend that you not do this with a bandsaw. I've seen people try it. Absolutely chews up the wood, and you can't get an exact cut. And be very careful when you're getting it started here, because it's very easy to slip and cut yourself. Which I just almost did. Notice how I'm keeping my hands as far away from the blade as possible. See, it's so thin it just breaks like that sometimes. See, that's why I don't hold it right here when I'm soldering. See, I had to take so little off, and I put so much effort into it. Seems ridiculous, but I like my plane. I want my planes to be the best of the best, as my building always is. I don't want to be trying to fit in a engine that doesn't really fit in. In fact, I would never do that unless I was just trying to get half a flight out of it and have the plane fall apart, which is never my goal. It doesn't want to go in that way, so let me check and see if it's the doubler, which very well could be. And it is, but the difference is so small, if I try to cut that, it's not going to work. So, I'm just going to have to sand it down. And I know some people say you can just take the doublers off and it'll be fine. It will most certainly not be fine. The doublers are very important because what they do is, so you put your bolts through here to hold the engine on. Goes right through the motor mounts and through the plywood doublers. So if the motor mounts were to break free, which they should not, the plywood that's still attached from here back is going to hold it because plywood does not rip forward. This doesn't happen. You will need a lot more weight than these engines can pull to do that. You know what, I will try doing this with my file in the back corner. Tends to be a real pain. See, I can force it in there so I am getting close to getting it to fit. And I'm also going to want it to fit as close to the back as possible. And then I want it to be about 132 from the back. That's about the distance I want. So, you can see it still doesn't fit. How much time is this video on for? 18 minutes. Wow, this one seems to be taking a while. Can't rush perfection, right? And in case you're wondering, yes, this is 15-minute epoxy, but I waited half an hour before working on it more. It's getting so close. It's because that's all rounded there. And it's cut for like halfway up, not cut for the right way. It's recommended I put a Fox 35 on this, but I like fast. I've seen people fly these really well with fast engines on them. And you see, I still kind of have to squeeze it down to get it in there. Which I shouldn't have to do, I want it to fit nicely. I wish I had a plane around here without an engine on it that I could demonstrate how this is about to fit. How this should fit, rather. Oh, I do. This one's not covered or anything. It's all been taken off because this plane was getting refinished. But you see, I should just be able to slide it on and off. No problems. That's recommended. That one, the highest it's supposed to go up to is the 35. This one can range up ahead, but I like fast. So I always put the biggest box engine on it. That one I might end up putting a 40 on there too. I went to a Super Tiger 40, which, as some of you probably know, Super Tigers are really fast. If you ever have to sand a lot off, I would definitely recommend 60 grit. Any lower in the grain will be, it'll look like grain in the side, in the bottom of the piece that you're doing. You don't want that. No, that's a solid fit. Once again, I have to think about this because one of the doublers has a cutout for an engine, and one, and one does not. I think that makes it look 1,010 times better when you don't just have a random hole that has the all of the butt of the engine sticking out of it. Now I'm doing what's called a dry fit before I glue anything. You see how that fits real nice. No trouble. And then this one will go down here like this. And when it's done, after it's mounted on everything, it will be like this. Has plenty of room for a fuel tank. I know I have a fuel tank around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. This is bigger than I've never mounted a fuel tank this big. And you can see, I could fit like 2 of these on here. I'll probably put one of these on this and one on my twister. My SIG twister. Which I will be making videos for eventually as I build it. But yeah, so we've seen how that fits. So once again, you're gonna want to make sure you have your you're not gonna need to have your C-clamps around this time. So I'm gonna take these. I don't even know why I have one this big. I'm gonna put these off to the side because when you clamp it down, if you clamp it too tight, it will start to shift, and the engine's not gonna fit in it if the doubler is like this. I luckily have not had that happen to me, but I know people have. once again, I'm going to break off that part of the used part of the mixing stick. Sand it down, make sure there's no chunks that are going to come off it. This, it's not real important to get it nice and smooth, because this is going to be covered by the doubler back to where I'm about to mark with my pencil. That way I don't waste epoxy and time trying to get that epoxy off later or tomorrow. So I just have to get this placed really good, and I will be on my way. And also, I'd like to point out that when you get a Sig Banshee, it looks here like this fuselage with two pieces. It's not, it comes like this. In the factory, they bind that wood together in two pieces. I don't know why, I couldn't tell you. They're both balsa wood. Maybe it's cheaper for them, I don't know. I just know that's what they do, and I know that that these planes tend to fly really good. I've never had a bad experience with the Sig plane. The Super Chipmunk, that's a more common one. I've never flown one personally. This will be the second Sig plane I've flown, and the third actually Sig plane I have flown, and this will be the second I own. I also own a older Skyray when my dad was a kid, because he used to be real big into the hobby. He used to fly what was called balloon bust. With that, where they had balloons on poles, they had to hit them with the propeller. I haven't really seen it personally, but he says him and his brothers used to have fun doing it. I'm going to sit upside down for a minute. Quite a bit of epoxy for this, because I haven't decided yet if I want to do both doublers at the same time or if I'm going to do them separately. I'm going to see how the first one goes and see if I think it can be flipped over to do the second. Yeah, I don't want doublers coming off either. Not nearly as bad as motor mounts coming off, but if you have your double peeling off, it's not going to look good. It's just not going to be a pleasant flight. Your plane's not going to be the best one at the field or your yard, wherever you fly. Me personally, I don't have that room on my property, but I have a field out in Halifax, Massachusetts that I fly at. That's like one of the only control line fields I've ever seen. Unfortunately, control landing fields are few and far between. And then there's like John Brodak, who has like 6. I don't know if John Brodak's still alive, so might be why they moved the thing. Why they moved the Brodak fly-in. This epoxy seems to spread pretty well. Some people say you can just glue the doublers on without a CA, a segment, which I do have experience with them both. But with something like doublers, in my experience, it's just better to use epoxy. I'm not saying that CA glue or segment or any other type of glue you use is bad. I'm just saying, me personally, uses segment, not segment, Zap epoxy for this. But I'm gonna go over this once or twice and spread it this way. Now I have to start acting fast because no telling how long this is gonna take to start setting up. I know it dries in 15, supposedly it dries in 15 minutes. But if it does dry that fast, it probably starts to set fairly fast as well. Yeah, this I know it's gonna come out to be a really nice plane. I don't see a reason it shouldn't. Takes a little epoxy getting on your hands to do it, but it works. Drop a piece of 2x4. Now, I just almost forgot. And take this off and put down some wax paper. How long has this been going? 34 minutes, wow. Yeah, something tells me this video is gonna get a tad less views. Because nobody's watching this thing 3 times. I'm not even gonna watch this 3 times. I'm just gonna hope I did a good job and post it. With my 10-minute video, I watched that a few times to make sure that it was good. But oh, yeah, that ain't good. Luckily, this doesn't seem to shift. If it did, that would be bad. flight box was, I would spray some rubbing alcohol in my hands to get that off. But I don't think flight boxes. So I just want to quickly review things and make sure I'm doing this well. It appears that I am. So, in like 15 minutes, I'm going to come back down here and put the other doubler on the other side, which I do not think will take me nearly as much time as the first doubler did. It should only take me 5 minutes at the most. But, well, I'm waiting for that to dry and do something else down there. I'm not going to go just 5 minutes just to come back down here. So, oh, I can move my phone now.